In the last two episodes, I've been telling you that geography changes everything about how you read the Bible. Now let me show you. Welcome back to OT in Context. I'm Scott Smith. Today's episode is different. Instead of teaching you about the ancient world, I'm going to show you how to explore it yourself. This is the tool I built because I couldn't find what I needed anywhere else. I'll show you the full capabilities. Some features are in the free tier, others unlocked with Plus or Pro. And by the end, you'll know how to navigate all of it. Let's start with something familiar. This is the modern Middle East. Borders and cities you'd recognize today. Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Israel. Here's the Mediterranean. Over here is the Persian Gulf. Now watch. This is still the same region, but now you're looking at the ancient world, the places mentioned in Scripture, the cities, the mountains, opportunities and obstacles, the routes that existed thousands of years before modern borders. The satellite imagery is current. We can't know exactly what the terrain looked like in antiquity. But the cities, the artifacts, the political boundaries, those are shown based on whatever year you select at the bottom. And that's what this timeline is for. Moving this dot back and forth allows you to move through history from 3500 BC, around the time of the Tower of Babel, all the way to the period between the Testaments. Navigation is simple. Drag to pan, scroll to zoom, click anything that looks interesting. Let's try it. Let's start by finding someone you know. I'll search for Abraham. And here's his profile. This is what we call an entity. A person, a place, an artifact, an event, anything with stored data inside the app that we can click on to view its own page of information. We can see his dates right here, roughly 2166 to 1991 BC. Here's a full description, drawing from scholarly sources. And notice these highlighted names. Anytime you see one of these, it's a link you can click on to take you to another entity. This button, present on many pop-ups, allows you to jump to a visual representation of Abraham's lifetime. You can see who else was alive during his era, what kings were in control of different regions, and what events were happening. But let's follow his story geographically. I'll click on the link to Ur, the place where we meet Abraham in Scripture. Now we're looking at the entry for Ur. We can see another entity, another description, another pop-up with lots of data to explore. Ur was a major city-state in the region of Sumer, home to the famous ziggurat dedicated to the moon god Nana. And here we see a button that allows us to view Ur on a map. And now we're standing where Abraham's journey began. Southern Mesopotamia, near the Persian Gulf, or where it was back in his time. This is where God called him to leave everything and go to a land he had never seen. Now let me show you something. This is called the historical routes layer, another pro feature. This line traces Abraham's most likely journey. He would have gone from Ur, northwest along the Euphrates, passing through cities like Babylon, Sippar, Mari, and eventually stopping in Haran, which was his family's ancestral home. They stopped in Haran for some time, and it is there that his father died. At some point, Abraham and those traveling with him picked up from Haran and resumed their journey south-southwest, somewhat following the Mediterranean Sea into the land of Canaan. You're looking at roughly 1,000 miles of travel through the Fertile Crescent. Not a vague, he went somewhere, a real journey you can trace. And this is the core loop that you can follow in OT and context. You can start by searching a person or a place, read the story, the description that it gives, click on a place, click on a timeline, jump between views, see the Bible, follow their journey, then come back to where you began. Follow whatever rabbit trails you'd like. Everything connects. Now, let me jump forward about 700 years and show you how the timeline really works. I'm turning on the political boundaries layer. This is also a pro feature. And watch what happens when I move through time. Right now, we're at about 1400 BC. This is roughly when Joshua divided the land among the 12 tribes of Israel. See these colored regions? These are the initial tribal allotments. And notice who surrounds them. Egypt to the southwest, still powerful. The Mitanni kingdom up here to the northeast. See that dashed line? That shows Egypt's sphere of influence, their suzerain control extending into Canaan. Israel is a small people in a very crowded neighborhood. Now watch. I'm moving forward another 700 years. Everything has changed. The tribal boundaries are gone. The northern kingdom has fallen to Assyria in 722 BC. And look at this. This is Assyria at its peak. They control virtually everything. Mesopotamia, the Levant, even Egypt for a time. This is what the prophets were warning about. This is why names like Sennacherib and Tiglath-Pileser struck terror into Israelite hearts. That's over 1,000 years of history you can explore just by dragging a slider and clicking on whatever grabs your interest. There's so much more I haven't shown you. For instance, the Bible view. At any point, whether you're looking at the timeline view or the map view, you can click over on the Bible view and see what passages correspond and speak to that particular moment in time, adding insight to the map and the events that you're looking at. And here's another pro feature, 3D terrain. This allows you to tilt the map and see the topography. You can understand for yourself why certain cities were defensible and why certain routes existed. There are lots of other things to explore. There are other tabs on each entity allowing you to see genealogy, timeline data, excavation history for archaeological sites. Down here at the bottom is a button labeled Ask. It's our proprietary system that allows you to pose your own questions and see an answer that draws on the work of Bible scholars and archaeologists, and which is also faithful to Scripture. Some of these features I've shown you are in the free tier. Others are unlocked with a Plus or Pro subscription. I'll link the details below. Here's what I want you to do. 1. Search your favorite Old Testament figure. David, Moses, Elijah, anyone. Follow the links. See where their story happened. 2. Find a place from whatever your church is studying right now. If you're in Genesis, find Bethel. If you're in Kings, look for Samaria. Put yourself on the map. 3. Pick 2 points on the timeline, say 500 years apart, and just watch how the world changed between those 2 points. The free tier lets you search, explore, and learn. But if you want the full experience, political boundaries, trade routes, full descriptions, genealogies, and much more, that's what the Plus and Pro memberships are for. But start exploring, see what you can discover. Next episode, we'll be exploring one of the most fascinating places in the entire Bible, Jericho. 11,000 years of human history in one city. We'll look at what archaeologists have found, what it tells us about the conquest, and why this one site matters so much. I'll see you then.